Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to call this regular meeting of the City of Pasco Code Enforcement Board to order. These proceedings are being presented live tonight on PSC-TV, cable channel 191, and will be rebroadcast throughout the following month. The Code Enforcement Board conducts public meetings to hear issues regarding alleged violations of the city code, in particular property maintenance standards. For those of you present, if you're given an opportunity to address the board tonight, we ask you speak clearly into the microphone at the podium right up here. State your name and address for the record, and I would like to request, if you brought a cell phone tonight, that you would please turn it off. Thank you. And we will now have roll call.
Mr. Dwayne Van Beek.
Present.
Mr. Daniel Gottschalk.
Present.
Mr. James Rawlinson.
Present.
We have 3 members present. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. The next item of business on tonight's agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June 2nd, 2022 meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I move that the minutes of the June 2nd, 2022 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board be approved as mailed.
Second.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as mailed. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We will now hear the cases scheduled for tonight, August 4th, 2022 at 7 o'clock for alleged violations of the Pasco Municipal Code. The City of Pasco is a petitioner. Property owners and their authorized representatives here to address the city's charges are the respondents. The purpose of the hearing tonight is to determine whether the city, by a preponderance of the evidence, has proven that the violation charged has occurred upon certain properties owned or controlled by the respondents, and if so, whether the required corrective action is reasonable and whether a monetary penalty is appropriate. The hearing procedures are as follows. First, the chair will open the hearing, which is being recorded. To ensure the accuracy of testimony, each person who will be testifying tonight shall be sworn to truthfulness. Second, the city has the burden of proof and shall present its case, including any witnesses and exhibits that are relevant to the case. The respondent may cross-examine the city and the city's witnesses. Third, the respondent shall present their case, including any witness and exhibits that are relevant to the case. The city may cross-examine the respondent's witnesses. Fourth, the city will have the opportunity for rebuttal of the respondent's evidence raised in the case, and the respondent may answer the city's rebuttal. Fifth, after all the evidence is in the record, the hearing will be closed. Remember, folks, this is the only opportunity for you to present evidence in your case. And then finally, the board members will discuss the charges, facts, and evidence presented and render a decision. A copy of the decision will be mailed to all parties within 10 working days of the hearing.
Mr. Chair, we're ready to hear tonight's cases. Before we begin, will you please explain the procedure for providing testimony and swearing all city staff, respondents, and any other witnesses who have appeared here to offer testimony?
Yes, sir. Testimony can only be received at the microphone over here. When you address the board, please state your name and address at the beginning of your testimony. If you have any written materials that you wish to be considered, please present them to be marked as an exhibit, and it will become a part of the hearing record. Are there any questions about the procedure at all, guys?
I do have something I would make. I didn't write it down.
Okay. When you come up, we'll have you take care of that. Thank you. Are there any objections to any members of this board hearing your matter due to your belief that any one of us may have a conflict of interest or the appearance of one? And if so, please indicate that objection now or it will be considered waived. We will now swear in witnesses who will testify in the proceedings tonight. Would all city staff, respondents, and witnesses present for the case tonight please stand and raise your right hand? If you're coming up to talk to us, just raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth in these proceedings? If so, respond, I do. Thank you very much. You may be seated. The city will now present their case.
Mr. Chair, our first case is CEB 2022-0462. Mr. Gomez, when you're ready, please present your case.
Previous case history. On October 23rd of 2018, Officer Rosanna Johnson posted a stop work notice at the property known as 218 North 11th Avenue. 4. No permit for windows, entry roof overhang, door remodel. The next day, an application for a door, windows, and roofing was submitted by Mr. Serrano. Permit number B182575 gets approved and issued on that same day. The permit is good for 180 days until April 22nd of 2019. 1 month before expiration, on March 25th of 2019, a permit about to expire letter is sent to the homeowner. 10 days later, on April 5th, a progress inspection for the windows was requested and performed. The result was a pass. This inspection extended the expiration of the permit for another 180 days. 5 months later, on August 26th, a second permit about to expire letter was sent. Roughly 1 month later, on October 2nd of 2019, permit number B18-2575 expires due to no final inspection. On August 13th of 2020, Officer Nicholas Potvin opens case number CEB 2020-1621 against this property regarding the still unpermitted door, windows, and roofing. He cited Pasco Municipal Code 16.05.010, with the violation being failure to secure a City of Pasco building permit where a permit is required. He sends a correction notice. 2 weeks later, on August 27th, Mr. Serrano applies for a building permit concerning a door, windows, and roofing. Permit number B20-2429 is generated, approved, and issued on that same day. For the next 5 months, no inspections are requested. So on January 25th, 2021, a permit about to expire letter was sent. 1 month later, on February 23rd of 2021, permit number B20-2429 expires. That brings me to the current case. On April 4th of 2022, code case number CEB 2022-0462 is opened, and a repeat notice of civil violation is mailed regarding permit number B20-1621 not receiving a final inspection and the unpermitted mini splits that were recently installed. Pasco Municipal Code 16.05.010 is cited, with a violation being failure to secure a City of Pasco building permit where a permit is required. The previous case cited the same code and was opened less than 2 years prior on August 13th of 2020, making this a repeat violation. A second violation on the notice, IRC R109.1.6, cited that a passing final inspection had not been completed for this building project. This code was addressing the still unpermitted door, windows, and roofing. On April 8th, 4 days after the notice of civil violation was mailed out, Mr. Serrano presents himself at the code enforcement window in City Hall and speaks with Officer Strader, who explains to him that he had 2 previous permits with no final inspection and directs him to the building permits counter to apply for the previous work, windows, door, and roofing, and the newly installed mini splits. No application was submitted. May 5th of 2022, this case goes through the code board with no scheduled appearance by Mr. Serrano. The next day, a compliance determination and order and penalty notification letters are mailed out. 4 days later, on May 10th, 2022, Mr. Serrano presents himself again at the code enforcement counter and asks why he was receiving a $200 penalty. Officer Strader explained our written procedure to him. Mr. Serrano disagreed with my assessment and asked lead code officer Rosanna Johnson if he could appear before the code board so that he may be heard. The request was granted and the hearing was set for today, August 4th. On that same day of this visit, May 10th, Mr. Serrano visited the building permits counter and applied for permit number B22-1251 for door, windows, roofing, and the 2 new mini splits that were installed. The City of Pasco recommends that Adrian A. Serrano shall pay a repeat penalty of $200. I would like the code board to note that Mr. Serrano does have an active permit. All of the work on the permit has been done. It just needs to be finalized.
Does that include this is for the windows, door, and roofing?
Yes, they're all in one permit, the windows, roof, and door, and the mini splits.
Okay, and so that work's all been done, it just hasn't been finalized yet?
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, who'd like to be heard in this case? Come on up, sir. If you'd please, first off, just state your name and address for the record. I want somebody to come and get that paper from you.
My name is Alberto Serrano. I'm the father of Adrian Serrano, and I'm also the owner of that building that is in this case.
Okay.
And I would like to bring a piece of paper that we wrote.
Okay. Oh, great. All right, give us just a second here, Mr. Serrano. All right, Mr. Serrano, what would you like to share with us?
Okay, as you see, we did get a permit for replacing windows and doing some repairs on a door and some repairs on the roof. I did got a permit. I have it. I have have a sign which you've seen already. As I wrote on this letter, I was talking to a person at the city. I didn't know the city and the code enforcement is a completely different part. I figure I'm just a regular citizen, so I figure the city is the city. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't mean there's, I didn't even knew you guys had to do anything with the rest of the city board or the city, the code enforcement. Anyway, I was talking to somebody on the phone. Of course, I don't take phone number. I don't take names or anything like that. So I just talked to, I apparently was a inspector. And they told me, put the permit on the window, because by the time you get out from work, which is not 6 in the afternoon, we don't have anybody to go to the place at 6 in the afternoon. Just place it on the window, we'll come in and we'll sign off on it. Okay, we did. I left it over a month. I have it right here. It's full of water and debris because I left it over a month. After that, I never heard from the city, so I didn't know whether it was approved, whether it was signed. So I went and grabbed it thinking, it's all done. Okay. Then, of course, after a few months, I get another notice, and that's in 2020, I believe. In 2020, that's when the pandemic came on. I called several times, same thing. I don't take names. I don't write notes saying I call it like they do. It's their job. They do have dates and hour and everything else. I don't do none of that. I just make a phone call. A second one, a third one, 4 or 5 times, I don't know. Never got a response. I figured, okay, if they're not interested in coming in and inspect it, but then I just leave it alone. I didn't know it was after 4 years or 4 years later, I had to be here wasting you guys' time. Okay? So I just left it alone, 2020, until I started getting more notices and more notices. And yes, when I got the second notice, I go to the code enforcement because they're the ones who told me, they're the ones who sent me the notice. And the only thing they told me is, oh, don't worry about nothing, go buy another permit, another $125, okay? I don't care about the money, it's okay. They should explain a little bit more, oh, don't worry about nothing, go get another permit. Because regular people don't understand the procedure that they go through, or the city does, or the inspectors. We don't know nothing about what they do. It's not our job to know. All we know is that we have to get a permit and comply, right? So that's what I try to do. Third time comes around. Okay, I maybe I'm at fault because I didn't do nothing on 2020, because they didn't get a response. So I figured, well, they will let me know when they're ready. So I get another notice. Same thing. I talked to. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Your name?
Rosanna.
Rosanna. Okay. I talked to her. She tells me the same thing. Oh, don't worry about it. It's still okay. Just go get it. Buy another permit again. We're talking 2022, just a few months ago. She didn't explain to me either that I had to buy another permit and follow the process, or I'm going to get a fine. Okay, until I get a fine, it's like, I don't understand. I really don't understand why we need to wait. I got all the permits and all the receipts right here.
Right.
What I pay. As I explained on the bottom, I have already spent way more than just putting a window or two windows and a door, and fix my trim. I don't really understand why we have to go through so much when all we're trying to do is replace a 30-year-old window and a 30-year-old door.
I got a question
When
for
we're
you.
trying to fix the city, make
Yeah.
it look better,
I understand.
or fix our house.
I got a question
I
for
don't see
you.
what's wrong with that.
Yeah, okay. I just have a question for you.
Okay.
Who put in the windows and
I
doors?
did, and my
Okay.
sons.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
Paint cars.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, okay.
I believe I need to teach my kids how to do
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah, okay.
You cannot stick with one job, and then when you run out of that job, then you're out of
Yeah.
work.
What is it you want to see from us today?
I would like to avoid the penalty that they're trying to give me, and the job been done for 40 years.
Yeah.
Of course, I added more stuff that I needed to
Yeah.
do in my house and my
Yeah.
property. I just need to understand, and I would like for everybody else to understand,
Yeah.
the whole city, the whole people.
Right.
Because, I do believe people don't understand what the city does. My understanding was that the city works for the people. But it looks to me, the way everybody puts it, it's we work for the city and we do what they say we have to do. And I don't think that's right.
Well, okay. This you were doing very well. What I want to tell.
So,
Okay. I just want to tell you, I do know that the city, I know honestly, if I had pulled, and this is just me, if I had pulled 3 or 4 permits already and I knew there was an issue, I would probably want to find out why, what happened. Okay? But I understand your position. You're not a contractor. You don't do those things. I get that.
we don't, yes.
But it's one of those things where I believe the city, as well as if you're speeding down the street and you didn't know the speed limit was 30, but it's 30, you're still going to get a ticket for it, right? You might be doing 50, but the excuse that I didn't know, the police aren't going to accept that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the principle is the same, and I'll tell you that
It is
that
the same.
the city will work, and I just know I've been doing this a really long time now. I just looked 13 and a half years. I can't believe it. It's been that long. But the city will, to a fault, will bend over backwards to work with you guys. And we know COVID screwed up everything, right? So we take that time and we just throw it out. I mean, it was messed, forget that. So that's what I wanted you and anybody else that might be watching tonight, is that the city will work with anybody. As long as at some point though, they're gonna call you in or wanna know what's going on. And then we can end up here. And that's where we are today, but it gives you the opportunity, and you've expressed yourself very well. I thought you expressed your issues and your concerns very, very well so far. Do we have any questions for Mr. Serrano?
No, the only question I have is, when you receive the letter that the permit is about to expire, wouldn't that be a clue that there's a problem?
Well, there is a thing where we don't get all the mail, or we don't read all the mail.
Yeah.
Half of those letters they come up here, I haven't seen them. I'm not acting dumb. I'm not saying I never got them.
Yeah.
But there is a chance that they never show up to my house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I can say about that.
I mean, when you come in to get the second permit, I'd be saying, hey, I
Well,
want a
the
final
reason really
inspection.
why I'm here is like, okay, I have for $400 worth of permits and 4 years of dealing with these. And then I'm getting a fine for something that is not my fault. If I cannot get an inspector to come out
Okay.
and inspect my,
Okay, just recently you got another building permit, correct?
yes,
Did you call for a final inspection?
not yet.
The
It's
work,
like, I think it's like, it's
was,
unfair.
the work was completed when you applied for the permit, correct?
Yes.
Why didn't you just ask for a final inspection the day you applied?
Okay, with all my respect, there's a lot of people that have a sit down job. They sit in an office in a nice cold air, and the phone is right there. In my case, it's not.
No, but I mean,
My job is from 8 in the morning to 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
right, but if you're here applying for the permit and the work's completed, all you have to do is say, I want to request a final inspection immediately.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I thought about that. I thought it'd help if I bring it over today, but then it would be too obvious that I just been not doing it.
Well, it's,
If I had it
yeah, but it's
today.
more apparent that you're just not doing it.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right on that. I should have done it today or yesterday or the day before. But I just so sick of dealing with this, and then I feel like I'm being, I don't know, harassed, targeted. I don't know.
Well, that's not the case. I can understand I appreciate
I'm
your
frustrated,
feelings.
maybe.
I appreciate
And
your
maybe
feelings
I look
about
at
it.
it as okay, maybe
But
I'm
that's
the
not
only
the
person that is in here every
But
month.
that's not the case at all. Do you have anything for him?
Yeah, Mr. Serrano, the problem here isn't that you didn't complete the work. The problem is I believe on the building permit, it says upon completion, you need to call for a final inspection to make sure that
On
the,
2020
may I
Go
finish?
ahead.
To make sure that what you have done is in compliance with the codes as adopted by the state of Washington, not, which includes the city of Pasco. Those are safety inspections to make sure it's been done properly. But how would the city know when you have completed the work and are ready for that inspection without you calling them and notifying them? And in this case, you had to buy additional permits because without calling them, the permits expired and you bought additional permits. It would seem, I appreciate the fact of the mail, but you came here in person and it's your responsibility to notify them when the work is done because otherwise they wouldn't know. And then they can inspect it to ensure that it's done safely and properly. for the occupants of the building. That's the purpose of it. It's not to create hardship on the citizens or to harass them. It's to ensure that the buildings that are built or remodeled or repaired are repaired safely and appropriately in accordance with the codes.
I understand that, but it's you guys in code enforcement. How come there is no one from the city inspectors or the city inspectors here to say why they couldn't come out and do the inspection when I asked for it? The other thing I did is left the permit in the window over a month. So I did comply to what they say. But if they do not care or they do not
Sir,
want to take the time to come out,
Sir, we have no record of you requesting a final. Kind of like what Mr. Van Beek just indicated. The inspectors don't just drive around looking for jobs. It specifies on your permit, call in 24 hours in advance, and the inspectors will go out there the following day.
Okay.
So if you call in on Friday, of course, it'll be Monday, right?
like I explained, I don't take notes of who I talk to. In 2018, I did speak to somebody in the city, and they said, yes, we'll show up on Monday, but there's nobody who show up after 6 in the afternoon. So leave the permit in the window, and we'll sign off on it. Okay, I left it there over a month. I understand you guys got no record of it. I'm not saying you throw it away, so you didn't have it. But what I'm saying is that I did call. And you could, good thing I kept it because, I thought it was done. Second time around, I couldn't get no answer from anybody to come out and inspect it. So how do I take care of my part if the city doesn't take care of theirs?
Sir, how many code officers do you think you've talked to since 2018?
Maybe 3.
Okay,
4.
so just 3 times, 4 times in 4 years?
Yeah,
You've only talked to a code officer 4 times in 4 years?
I have talked to
I'm just
code
curious.
officer a lot more.
Okay, what do you think? Just a good guess.
I really think you guys got no communication with your inspectors.
No, I'm just
all.
asking a question. So how many code officers, how many times do you think you talked to the code staff?
A few times, yeah.
10, 15 times?
I don't know.
10 times?
5 times.
Okay, 5 times. And how many times have you talked to the permit techs and the inspectors in those 4 years?
About 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times, so 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
So in 10 times, not one person indicated the process in finaling a project that you permitted 4 times?
Yeah,
Okay. The reason why I ask you that is that's a standard procedure. That's typical. That's the verbiage that they tell every individual that gets a permit. It's a script that they go through. So everybody's very clear and very aware of what the process is. So I'm very surprised that out of 10 times you've talked to individuals on the building division and code enforcement division, I'm surprised that nobody stepped that through or read that script to you, since it's ingrained.
I talked to you and you didn't explain it to me.
Talk to me about this
He didn't
permit?
explain it to me. He told me, I have to pick up this case from somebody else because everybody's quitting. So what's going on?
You talked to me about this?
Yeah, not about this one.
Okay,
But
okay.
we need to, as citizens, we need to have a better understanding of what you guys' process is.
Yeah, we do,
This
sir.
is just
And
a
that's
permit
exactly what
that
I
we
was saying.
pay.
Every
We pay
time
for a permit.
a permit coordinator hands off a permit, they go through that. It's a script. If you have, when you're ready for a final inspection, you call this number, or you can email us here. It's a script, so everybody's very clear on what the process is,
Okay.
and what inspections are required. Same with the inspectors.
Well, all I'm going to say then, because didn't you told me you had to pick up this case from somebody else because they just left it?
That's not true. No.
That's what you just told me yesterday. No? Okay.
Mr. Serrano, is that not a copy of the permit that you were issued? Or a copy of at least one of the three permits?
One of them, yes.
And you notice in big bold print, inspections are required and a number to call to schedule an inspection. So I'm not sure what more the city could do to make citizens aware of the process. It's plainly written on the permit.
Okay. So let me, can I ask him something? Are you guys the same inspectors that come out and look at the properties?
No, I don't inspect. I oversee the building department and code enforcement. So that means the inspectors and the permit coordinators, along with code enforcement.
Okay.
I've been doing this for quite a few years.
That's fine. I mean, I just don't understand how you guys, if I cannot get an inspector, how you guys come in and tell me I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do? I cannot get an inspector to come out.
Again, my inspectors don't drive around looking for jobs. You have to, hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. So the inspectors don't drive around looking for jobs, right? It's up to the contractor or to the homeowner to call in at least 24 hours in advance. And this is the same script that we tell every single person that comes to that counter. So call in 24 hours in advance. The inspector will be out there. You can request AM or PM, not really specific times because they are very busy unless it's concrete. Again, this is the script that is quoted every single permit. Part of that is when the inspector goes out there, that's what he does. He looks for the permit. He looks for the construction drawings. He goes into the building or wherever the construction is done. He verifies it and he signs off on that permit. Then immediately, at the end of the day, he'll come back and he will sign off in the system.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. So if you let a permit expire, code enforcement gets involved 2, 3, 4 months later when it's expired and now abandoned. Then that's when code enforcement contacts you and says, you're out of compliance, you need to get a new permit and get this finalized. Sounds like that's happened 4 times now.
Okay, so you're putting it as I didn't do nothing to take care of it. When I put my permit in the window for your inspectors or whoever
Right.
supposed to come out, they never come out.
Because it was never requested. Final inspection was never requested.
Why would I put it in the window just because I
Okay.
just
And,
like
and,
to
and I
have
don't
it
mean
there?
to argue back and forth. Just nothing in our system says that you requested it. The permit coordinators, the emails, the phone logs, they're pretty in depth. Obviously I can't say 99 or 100% is logged in, but I guarantee 99.9% is. I mean, we all make mistakes. If this was a mistake one time, I apologize.
Well,
4 times,
it
it's kind of,
was-
it's,
I can assure you.
I'm struggling that it was 4 mistakes.
And the
Regardless,
second
sir,
time, it
A
was-
final inspection is needed, so we can
Yes.
get this done and wash our hands of it.
I understand. I just feel
Okay.
frustrated because, okay, if I cannot get an inspector for the past 4 years,
Yep, but it's,
what it makes it.
no, you just requested it once. Okay, so that was 2018 or 2019, you requested a final inspection that we don't have documentation for. Okay, that still leaves 3 other times, 3 other permits that you have it. Sir, all you need to do,
The only way I could prove that,
Sir,
that I had done it
I don't-
is
I don't-
if I could go through your computer, or
Okay,
your
hold
phone.
it. Stop. Everybody stop. Here's what we're going to do. We understand your position. We've heard this. You've repeated the same stuff over and over. We're trying to be very respectful, sir. I understand your situation. I understand your frustration. We're not gonna keep beating this, okay? So if there's anything you can add to the case itself, and I get your frustration 100%. In 2018, if you called in an inspection that didn't show up, yeah, and you didn't know what was going on. I get all that. COVID was
Same
COVID,
thing on
right?
2020,
And
yes.
so we understand where you're coming from in your frustration, but there's no use going on any further repeating to see whether you called it in or not, because there's no way to even go back and look at that at this point. It's just, what do we need to do to resolve this tonight? You can get your final inspection done and be done with it, right?
Okay.
That's what we
Yeah.
want. Okay? All right. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, now I need to understand what's next. Do I need to
Well,
call
here's.
in for
Oh, okay.
inspection?
Okay. What we're going to do next is I'm just going to close the hearing. We are going to deliberate right in front of you, right here. We're going to
Okay.
decide what we're going to do, and while you're sitting over there, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. It'll take just a few minutes, okay?
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. All right. There being no further evidence to be presented, I determine the record complete. The hearing is now closed and no additional evidence will be permitted. The board will now discuss the charges, facts, and evidence presented. Then we will render our decision. First off, do we agree by preponderance of the evidence the city has proven that a violation of the Pasco Municipal Code has occurred? And may I have a motion one way or the other, please?
I move that the board, having heard the case and the facts presented, and by a preponderance of the evidence presented, find that the respondent is in violation of the Pasco Municipal Code.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So, I think my opinion is we just need to put this behind us. And I think, listening to him, I sense the frustration from 2018, I get that. And I think Mr. Serrano is a very busy guy. And just whether he didn't get the notices or whatever it was, I don't know. I just know that he has put a ton of money into, way more than what the fine would be. I might hold that in abeyance, or, I don't know. What do you think, Dwayne?
Well, is reading the city's case, he still needs to have a finalized inspection.
Exactly, yeah.
He needs to call in, set up an appointment so that an inspector can come and look at it to make sure it's in compliance with the proper codes. My suggestion would be is that the fine of $200 be imposed. However, if the inspection is completed as required within 10 days, that the code or the fine would be dismissed.
Jim?
I agree.
I like that. That we can ensure we're gonna get the inspection done, right?
Right.
Okay, you wanna make the motion?
I move that a fine of $200 be imposed for the violations, subject to Mr. Serrano calling and scheduling an inspection, and that inspection being completed within 10 days, the fine would be dismissed.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries, sir. So, get your inspection done within 10 days, okay? And the fine will go away, okay? That's all we get. You'll get official notice in the mail. Just get it done. Call in tomorrow for Monday and just let's put this behind us, all right? You get official notice within 10 days. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay. Do we have any other cases on the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we have any amendments or dismissals to the resolution?
No,
And
sir.
Go ahead. No? And may I have a motion, please?
I move that the board approves Resolution 8-2022 as amended, finding that code violations have been corrected and may be dismissed, deferring action on certain cases until proper notification is made, accepting voluntary correction agreements, and assessing penalties and imposing timeframes on certain cases.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the resolution as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have a report from staff tonight?
No, sir. Nothing tonight.
Okay. Any other business?
No, sir.
There being no further business before the Pasco Code Enforcement Board, this meeting is declared adjourned at 7:40.